start with the cone. What I'm gonna do is try to put some lighter red on the top. Then I'm gonna get a little darker. And for any coloring or painting, you want to try, take some practice, but I highly recommend looking at something, a picture or something, and you can get the shading down. You want to think, okay, where's the light coming from? You want your painting or your coloring or colored pencils, in this case colored markers, you want them to look three-dimensional I will say, if you're going after that effect. If you sit your children or grandchildren down, I mean, anything goes. You might want it solid, very dark shading, or they may do it light. But here I'm going for a little bit more realistic effect in this example today. So you want to think, okay, there's going to be some light shading, and leave some areas not so colored in and others colored in a little bit more. And grab a little bit of purple. And now I've grabbed some blue. Now I'm going to go back to this red. I'm going to press down in that blue. And I'm going to try to make that blue fade and bleed a little bit like we were talking about. I'm going to add another dot or two right there. And then I'm going to take that red, and once it wets that blue again, it's going to bleed a little bit. Nope. I'm going to add some color to the bottom. And bring it up, go with that darker red in the middle. I'm just barely touching some blue, purple, whatever, and once you revisit that area with that red, it's going to bleed a little bit. And like I said, you could play around with a wet paintbrush doing the same thing too. Now we're going to move to the beak and the feet. I'm going to mix some yellows and oranges. I'll start with the brightest yellow. I'm gonna try to make this one just a little bit different, and then this basically is as simple as paint by numbers. All right, got some light. Then we're gonna add in that one's not quite as dark, it's actually lighter, so I'm gonna go a little bit orange. Just barely touching right now. And I'm gonna grab a gray, add just a dot. Oops. Molly remind me, or Amy remind me if my hand gets in the way. I'm gonna add just a touch of gray right here on the leg part. And then revisit that area and bleed it in a little bit. Blend it a little bit. I think I want a little bit more gray. Okay. Oh, I'm going to keep the gray actually. We're going to move on to the body, and I'm just going to take some simple brush strokes at first. I'm not pressing down very hard, just stroking it in the direction that the feathers would lie. Thank you. First, I'm just going to get some light shading around. And some of these designs, quite honestly, if you stitch them in all black or all charcoal or dark midnight color, and you just want to get gray and just do brush strokes, it'd be beautiful. Especially a water can with the flowers. I'm going to come back to that area, but I'm just going to get some light shading all over the body. And in the center of most of these feathers, I'm going to leave it lightly shaded. If you think, hey, the sun may be shining on this little guy from this direction, and it might be casting a shadow under these feathers, right under here. Cast even more shadows, maybe in the neck area. And again, it will show a few strokes, so you want to follow it, especially if you're in an animal, whether we create some elephants or tigers or something like that. You want to go in the direction of the body. Here it's feathers that go in that direction rather than against the grain or against the feathers. Are any of you liking it so far?
Love it.
I hoped that you would. I like it. I am. This girl does not like doing the same thing over and over. All I'm doing now, just on the bottom of each feather, just going to add some darker gray. I see a little spot I want to revisit back over here on the beak. There we go. Now, we'll touch the eye with black in this case. There we go. Now for the real fun. Want some blues, some purples, some greens. And don't be shy. It's gonna look a little funny at first. You can go as slow or as fast as you would like. I might get out of the lines just a hair for the, as quickly as I'm going, but on this little guy, I also add some color down here, right above his left foot. Okay. We're going to add some green on top of that blue. We're just building colors, and you'll be able to see them all blended. Gonna put a little bit of purple right on top. Then I'm going to grab our friend the gray, and I'm going to press down this time. Get some dampness or wetness in there and just blend those colors. Right now I'm liking what it's doing, going back and forth. Oops, thank you, thank you. That one seems to be drying out just a little bit. I'm gonna grab this other gray. Is that okay, Molly?
Yes.
Okay. This one has a little bit more wetness to it. And before, where I was just barely making some brush strokes, now I'm pressing down pretty hard. The colors just accept that moisture in the marker, and it helps with some blending. I'm not quite happy with it. I want a little bit darker. Grab a little bit of black. And here I'm just going to take this tip and just barely touch on it. Just tones it down just a little bit. You see that? I hear a wow. Thank you. You're best friends. You know, to be honest with you, when I thought about sharing this with you guys, I thought, now who's going to want to see me sit down and color like a 5-year-old? But I fell in love with these, and I'm having a great time, and I appreciate all the help, the entire team. We're cranking them out, creating the artwork and the designs for you. But I love this effect, and you'll probably see 20 or 30 more designs. And thank you, Molly, thank you very, very much for reminding me when I thought about things that I wanted to say in this class. It was not only, you know, these flour sack towels or shirts, but pillowcases. Spend the night party for teens or tweens. So I'm gonna stop there.